Hey everybody, Saigan here. Sorry if my voice is a little weak. I just finished like 4 hours of Blue Dragon recording. So I'm actually good on Blue Dragon out through like July now. It's fantastic because usually like Blue Dragon was kind of a week to week thing, and I finally put aside the time to get some real work done on it. Wanted to do a channel update and just talk because that's what these vlogs are for, I guess. So, I think it was last week or like 2 weeks ago. My previous Quester's Rest, I talked about Dungeons and Dragons and how I was going to have some friends over and play, and we did. We played basic fantasy RPG. I go ahead and buy the physical copies of the books because I like having physical copies of things. All of this is totally free to download off the website. You don't have to spend a dime on it. If you want the books in print, then you can actually buy them at cost. This was like $5 or something, and it's the entirety of the 3rd edition rule set. Another thing about basic fantasy is that while there is a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd edition, all that is it's additions and corrections to the core rules. They don't change the core rules. It's not like they do with Dungeons and Dragons, where they just take everything, chuck it out, and start over again with new engine. I hate it when people do finger quotes, and I do them all the time, and I hate myself every time I catch myself doing it. So we played that. We had like 7 people playing, and I was GM, and it was like the worst introduction to combat I've ever seen. We started off at level 1. There were a couple of characters who started off at 3 and 4. There were 2 characters. One was 3, one was level 4. And I kind of shoehorned them in as like, the experienced adventurers. And, they were supposed to take the lead. And yeah, it was, your basic classic high fantasy. I was actually running it out of one of the basic fantasy campaigns because I haven't had the time to put together my own campaign, which is what I usually do. But we went ahead and played anyways. And I had the adventurers, working at this fort and working out of a fort, and they were supposed to go investigate this old fortress. And on their approach, the ranger spots, oh, there's some kobolds guarding the fortress entrance. All right, everybody get down. And the thief rolled a 1 on her hide and just fell off of her horse, startled the animals. The kobolds all got alerted, and the first kobold out the gate rolled a critical on a slingshot and almost killed the ranger in a single hit. And they ran back to base. First encounter of the game, and they had to run away from like 3 or 4 kobolds. It was pretty embarrassing, and it was a combination of a character getting a critical miss, followed by the first round of combat, a monster getting a critical hit. It was too perfect for words. The entire table was laughing, and then I had to come up with a good excuse for why they would want to go back after this embarrassment. But that was a lot of fun, and it's one of the many things that happens when you're playing role-playing games, and I still certainly recommend them to anyone who has, 2 to 4 friends is a pretty good starting number. I find that a magic number is usually 3. And it's a fun exercise and a fun game. So, yeah, we did that. Channel updates. So I've been hitting the recordings hard, and I'm scheduled out pretty well through the next couple of months, which I love, being scheduled that far ahead. It's also been some time since my last marathon, which was Pokemon Omega Ruby. Memorial Day weekend is going to be the Dragon Quest III marathon. And that's not going to be a single sitting marathon. I've spoken about this before, but, kids, Perry, I'm getting old and I get cranky if I don't get my sleep. We're going to be running it differently this time. And I'm going to be playing like 8 to 12 hours a day through the entire weekend. And the plan is to finish up and complete the game on Memorial Day itself. I'm going to be playing Saturday, Sunday, Monday to finish the game. And that will also allow more people to actually come and check in. Doing the marathons is great and it's a blast, but I'm also noticing after like midnight, so the numbers just drop off completely and there's only like 4 or 5 people around in chat. And this is going to allow more people to watch because I'm going to focus more on playing at peak hours. So hopefully more people will be able to get in and watch some of the marathon. Just noticed some of my hair has come undone. The Phantasy Star Marathon. Now, this actually goes back to the Pokemon Marathon. And during that, my Patreon page got up to $50 a month. Thanks again, guys. You're awesome. Phantasy Star Marathon was one of the milestone goals, and we hit it. Hooray! Why hasn't it happened yet? Because I still work full-time, and it's awful, and getting the time off is awful. However, holiday weekends are fantastic for it. So what I'm doing is I'm going to request Labor Day weekend off. And we will make a weekend of the original Phantasy Star, just like we're doing with Dragon Quest III. That one's not near as long. That one's only like 18 hours. I may do that one in one sitting because it's such a short game. Like, if I start in the morning, I should be able to finish up at a reasonable hour and I won't hate life. But that's what we're going to try and do with the original Phantasy Star. I haven't forgotten about it. It is going to happen. Thank you, everybody who helped get to that milestone. Speaking of Patreon, I just made it so that my ebook, A Walk in Eternity, that I published back in like September or November or somewhere in there in 2014, I've just made that free to all patrons. It's just out there. It's free. If you don't want to patron me on a monthly basis, then go check it out on Amazon. It's only like $1 or $2 now. I forget what I said it at. And please, leave me a review if you can. And if you want a review copy, just shoot me a message and I will get you a copy if you want to share your thoughts on it on Amazon. I was talking to my mother, who is also an author. She writes romance novels that I refuse to read for obvious reasons because she's my mom and I don't need to read those novels when they're being written by her. But she was telling me that a lot of novels don't really gain traction on Amazon until they've had like 5 good reviews. 5 seems to be the magic number on, you know, a book on Amazon gaining any kind of traction and starting to show up in searches and recommendations. So hopefully I can get 5 people who enjoy the book to review it. So anybody who wants a review copy, just let me know and I will shoot you one. Kenshin liked it. Kenshin's awesome. Go check out his channel too if you haven't already. I imagine there's a lot of overlap between mine and Kenshin's channel though. Lots of JRPGs. What else? Oh, okay. The other thing that I'm doing with my Patreon page, in addition to, you know, making the novel free to patrons, as I'm starting to build up a good amount of buffer on my videos, which is important because it gets me through times where I'm burnt out, which totally happens between work, 2 kids, a girlfriend, and other hobbies that I don't get to spend enough time with these days. Having that buffer is great. Building out that buffer is fantastic. What's going to happen now is, well, Dragon Quest Heroes is coming out, so that's just going to happen. But as far as my other LPs are concerned, I still have a massive retirement pile. I have a huge retirement pile of games, and I'm thinking, with the patrons, I'm going to have the polls that I usually do go out to patrons. This is patrons of any level, anybody who just pledges $1 a month or more. $1 a month is awesome. More than that, you're fantastic. But anybody who pledges is going to be able to get in on these polls and vote on what game I'm going to do an LP of next. And I'll put forward a pretty good size. I think I usually put like 5 to 10 different games up, or maybe I'll do it by series and then do a secondary vote for which game in the series to do. So that's where I stand right now. That's where the channel stands. How are you? Oh, we're going camping this weekend. It's exciting. Perry has never been camping before, and I'm used to camping like all the time as a kid. I would go camping like weekly or bi-weekly growing up because my dad put me in Boy Scouts, and it was very important that I do Boy Scouts and go on as many camping trips as possible, and I did not appreciate it then. And now I kind of look back with fond memories of the camping. The camping was awesome. Did not care for like the actual organization of the Boy Scouts. But we're going camping. We're not going to a campsite either. We're not camping out of a car. We're going up to the mountains. We're going to hike out into the woods in an area that I'm familiar with. And it's just going to be 2 nights. It's supposed to get down into the 30s this weekend overnight. And it's supposed to rain on Sunday, which is when we're supposed to come back. But we're going to go up there, try and do some fishing. I'm excited. She's terrified now. She was excited before, but the closer we get, she's kind of worried. I'm like, usually I watch like some horrifying survival movie before I go out. Like the last time I went camping, and that time I was going camping on my own, I was like, I'm going to watch The Gray, which totally gets you pumped for camping, let me tell you. That's all. I think I'm totally out of story now. But thanks for watching, everybody. That's it, I think. I have other plans, too. There's another project that I'm working on. It's writing involved, but it's not a novel. And once I have, like, an actual amount of work done on it, where I know that I'm going to complete the project, I will share. I think it's cool. And if I were you, I would get excited for it, but you don't know what it is, so hold that excitement. Anyhow, take care, everybody. This is Saigan signing off. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe. Check out my Facebook. Facebook is another good way for you to know when new videos come out, in addition to my Twitter, and also check out Patreon. So, peace out, everybody. Thanks for watching.